Jacob Reid was no ordinary CEO. He had built his diner chain, Haven Grill, from scratch, beginning with one small location and a dream to create a place where food felt like home and employees felt like family. But as the business expanded into dozens of locations across the country, Jacob feared that his original mission was slowly slipping away. He still read every quarterly report, watched the numbers grow, but deep down, he wondered, are my people still happy? Are we still who we used to be? He decided the only way to find out was to go undercover. No assistants, no cameras, no corporate entourage. Just Jacob, a fake name, and a notebook in his back pocket. His team helped him choose a diner that had raised a few red flags: high staff turnover, unusually low customer satisfaction, and a manager who never returned calls to corporate. It was in a small town off the highway, the kind of place that had once been the heart of the community, but now seemed forgotten. Jacob dressed in jeans, sneakers, and a worn jacket, and walked in just after the breakfast rush. A little bell above the door jingled as he stepped inside, but no one looked up. The atmosphere felt heavy, lifeless. He took a seat near the window and waited. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15. Finally, a young waitress named Emily rushed over, flustered and apologizing. "I'm so sorry for the wait," she said, her voice shaky. "We're short-staffed again today." Jacob smiled and assured her it was no problem. But his mind was already racing. He glanced around the diner. Dirty tables sat uncleared, a customer near the counter looked visibly annoyed, and the cook behind the kitchen window looked like he hadn't smiled in months. As Jacob ate his breakfast, overcooked eggs and cold toast, he listened. The manager, Carl, was in full view at the back, leaning on the counter with a clipboard, snapping at the staff for being too slow, calling one of the servers useless in front of customers, and ignoring a dishwasher who tried to report a kitchen issue. At one point, Jacob overheard Carl berate Jamal, the young cook, for taking too long on an order. "I could train a monkey to move faster than you," Carl sneered, loud enough for everyone to hear. Jamal's jaw tightened, but he didn't respond. He just nodded, eyes fixed downward, and kept working. Jacob stayed most of the day, ordering coffee after coffee just to observe. Every break-room conversation, every eye roll, every whispered apology to customers told a story of a team hanging by a thread. Later that evening, Jacob struck up a casual conversation with Emily during her break. Her guard dropped quickly. Jacob stayed most of the day, ordering coffee after coffee just to observe. Every break-room conversation, every eye roll, every whispered apology to customers told a story of a team hanging by a thread. Later that evening, Jacob struck up a casual conversation with Emily during her break. Her guard dropped quickly. "It didn't used to be like this," she said. "When I started here last year, we laughed between shifts. We helped each other. But then Carl came. He cut hours, played favorites, and made us feel like we didn't matter. People started quitting. I almost did too." Jacob thanked her and jotted it all down. That night, he sat in his motel room, staring at the notes. The evidence was clear. This wasn't a failing diner. It was a forgotten team suffering under bad leadership. The next morning, Jacob walked into the diner again, this time dressed as himself. Black suit, polished shoes, and a quiet fire in his eyes. Heads turned. Carl froze. "Good morning," Jacob said, loud enough for the whole diner to hear. "My name is Jacob Reid. I'm the CEO of Haven Grill." The room went silent. Emily gasped. Jamal dropped his spatula. Carl turned pale. "I was here yesterday," Jacob continued. "Undercover. And what I saw broke my heart." Carl stammered, trying to explain. He blamed staff laziness, supply issues, and a lack of motivation. But Jacob cut him off. "You don't motivate people with fear," he said firmly. "You lead with empathy. You listen. You lift people up. And what I saw here was the opposite of everything we stand for." He turned to the staff. "You deserve better." Carl was dismissed on the spot. No ceremony. No delay. The days that followed marked the beginning of a transformation. Jacob spent the next week at the diner personally. He held one-on-one meetings with every employee. He listened to their stories, how Rosa worked double shifts to support her kids, how Jamal once dreamt of opening his own kitchen, how Emily took on extra tables so others could breathe. Rosa was promoted to assistant manager. Her leadership had always been there. It just needed to be seen. Jamal became the head cook, and Jacob sent him to a culinary course, all expenses paid. Emily was offered a position in the company's internal leadership training program. Jacob invested in the diner itself, too. New kitchen equipment, fresh paint, a community board filled with local events, photos of staff birthdays, and thank-you notes from customers. The break room was transformed into a cozy space with snacks, music, and even a mini library. Every Friday became team lunch day, paid time to sit down, relax, and connect as human beings. The morale changed almost overnight. Laughter returned. Smiles came more freely. Customers started leaving glowing reviews. One elderly man wrote, "I used to come here for coffee. Now I come for the kindness." Jacob returned a month later, this time as a guest. He didn't have to say a word. Rosa ran the floor with confidence. Jamal created a new dish that became the weekly special. Emily trained 2 new servers and handled customer complaints with grace. Jacob sat by the window, sipping his coffee, watching his people, his team, come back to life. Before leaving, he glanced at a chalkboard near the register. Emily had written something in bright letters. "A kind boss builds a strong team. A strong team builds a better world." Jacob smiled. Mission rediscovered.